You describe that performance tonight.
Just beaten by a better team, lost a game.
Why do you think ultimately you were beaten by the better team? What was wrong with your performance from your players?
Well, I think Leicester are a team in good form. We're not in the greatest of form. I think it showed on the pitch. Individual battles we lost, individual duels, particularly in the first half. We were slower than Leicester to second balls, to moments of having to compete, and they were brighter than us.
These sound like elements that would concern a manager.
Of course.
How do you fix it?
Work. Those are the rules of football. It's not pretty patterns, it's not systems. It's when players clearly are short on some confidence, but when you're short on confidence, sometimes that also maybe makes you question to run, to get back to the basics.
You're saying that the work rate of the team needs to increase?
No, the work rate has to always be at a level. That's the Premier League. I think if you don't, it was something I pride myself on in my team. Since the first moment I've been managing, my teams work hard, and up until a month ago we're second in the league. We played against Leeds, we played really well. The energy in the team was immense. Maybe a little bit like Leicester are feeling at the moment. We're confident, and if you drop your standards a little bit, you have to work really hard to get it back. And there's a lesson for the players and all the players, that if you maybe got a bit confident or complacent in yourself, then you shouldn't have done, because this is the Premier League.
You sense the desire is still there amongst the players?
Yeah, of course. The players want to do well. The players have got the right intentions, but sometimes things like this will be a big jolt to them, certainly. And I've been through this before. I've been through this before here as a player, many a time, difficult periods. Been through it as a manager to a degree. Last season we had difficult moments. Expectations have gone up, rightly or wrongly, this year. I think bringing in players, but it's clear that players are having to settle at the club, the newer players, and we've still got some young players. So there are a lot of things around it, but the basics, as I keep going back to, are that we have to work very, very hard to get an uplift in form, because an uplift in form will bring everything back pretty quickly, but at the moment that's not going to come easy. That is work.
But you know, when you were a player, when performances aren't there and results aren't there, it's the manager that pays the price. That's what happened during your career as a player.
At different times, yeah.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
James, just how complete a team performance was that sends you to the top of the Premier League?
Yeah, sounds nice, doesn't it? The top of the Premier League. Probably for about 24 hours, but it's a good one psychologically, because we've worked really hard and halfway through the season now, and to be sitting top's a great achievement for us, and one we can definitely build on. But yeah, like you said, I don't think you'll see a more complete team performance from us this season, so far I should say. Had a bit of everything, had a bit of tactical nous, had a bit of quality when needed. We work hard every time on stifling the opposition and the opposition's threats, and I thought we did that brilliantly today. Credit to the manager as well. We had a little switch at half time to go to almost like a bit of a 4-4-2 out of possession. 4-3-3 in possession stayed the same, but just little things like that, thinking on our feet. And I thought the lads out there, we dealt with the threat that came our way, and I thoroughly deserved 3 points.
Is that the key to it? The combination of all of that, plus you all do the dirty work, and you've all got each other's backs, it looks like.
Yeah, well, you don't play for Brendan Rodgers if you don't do the dirty work. It's as simple as that. He always reiterates to us and to you when he speaks to you that it's a running game. You can't have passengers, you can't carry anyone in this league, especially when a team like we are, we need to stay together. If we want to stay up there for the longevity of the season, there might be teams that be able to spend a lot more money than us and bring in quality from abroad and pay big wages for big players. But that team spirit and that togetherness that is here at Leicester City for all to see will continue, and we'll keep doing to try and keep us up there at the top of the table. Yeah.
That first goal, was that very much a Brendan Rodgers training ground move? Innovative.
Yeah, we worked on it. We looked at Chelsea and little short corners and being creative. They switch off sometimes from set pieces, and we knew that was something that we could pick on. We haven't scored enough goals from set pieces. Pulling my hair out sometimes as the corner taker when you put it in there. You look at the stats that come up on the games, and it's like goals scored from set pieces, Leicester City bottom of the table 0. So really nice to see one come off. Bit of a relief actually. And it's always nice when you work on one and it comes off. We didn't quite have the miss-hit shot from Harvey Barnes to set up Wilfred Ndidi to slice it in, but we'll take it.
What about you? That's 5 and 7 right now. Goals are flying in for you. What's that down to?
Working on my game. Improving, yeah. I remember a game we played Sheffield United earlier in the season, and I always watch the games back, and Jamie Carragher said in commentary that he needs to get his numbers up, James Maddison, if he wants to be challenging for the England spots and being talked about in the same bracket as others. He needs to get his numbers up, and me, the gaffer and Jack the analyst sat down. Jack will be buzzing that I've name dropped him. Sat down and looked at where I can get more goals, and playing a bit deeper, and I was a number 8 today, and little things like breaking into the box, getting beyond that last line, and really kind of almost smelling where the ball's going to drop. It's not an easy thing to do. And Frank Lampard was the best at it, arriving late and scoring goals, and that's what I did today. And Mark Albrighton, I seen him get his head up, and I just kind of drifted onto the back line, and that's something that I'll keep improving on, scoring goals, because everyone wants numbers, and I want numbers because I want goals and assists. I want everyone talking about me. So that's a part of my game that I'm looking to improve on, and I'm getting good return at the minute. Yeah.
So, top tonight could be fleetingly, but do you embrace it? Is this a flag in the sand? We're contenders. This is so open, the race this season. Are Leicester City genuine contenders?
I'm going to have to be boring with my answer and say...
Why not? Why not go the other way? Say, yeah.
Because then you can get sidetracked, I think. We need to just... Because we're top of the table at the minute, because we don't think like that. And listen, the next game, as boring as it is, and I'm sorry I have to say it, Jeff, but the most important game is the next game. And it was Southampton last week, and it was Chelsea this week, and then it's Brentford in the FA Cup. And as cliche as it is, that's how we've got to work, and that's why we're top of the table, because we have that mentality. And that's where we want to be. We're not up there by fluke. We're up there because we work hard. And listen, people might talk about the Uniteds, the Liverpools and Tottenhams or whatever, but let's let them talk. We'll do our business in the back. We'll do our business in the background, and come the end of the season, hopefully, will give us a chance of being right up there.
Nice feeling, though, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. I'll probably go and check the table when I go in there. But
cheers, James. Well
cheers,
played.
Jeff. Thank you.
Cheers.
Championship tonight, big win for Derby County, which lifts them out of the drop zone. Reading back amongst it at the top end, having beaten Coventry 3-0. Blackburn's game postponed because of a waterlogged pitch. Quite a match at Rotherham. 3 apiece, Rotherham and Stoke City. And Watford beat Barnsley by a 1-0. Wycombe, Sheffield Wednesday back in the drop zone. Rotherham, Derby County. Top from 6 up, it's Brentford, Bournemouth, Reading, Watford, Swansea, Norwich. Got the FIFA Club World Cup coming up in Qatar, of course. Draw was made today. As Andy said earlier, the incentive for Al Duhail and Al Ahly is a game against the München.
Yeah, Bayern Munich await the victors of that game. Great incentive for them.
Good win for Leicester. I said well worked, well constructed.
Well worked, well constructed, satisfying. Having got to ahead, you thought we must see something from Chelsea second half, a response of some kind. If I'm honest, disappointing. Didn't see enough fire in their bellies, for want of a better description. Leicester were comfortable. Were never stretched overly, apart from the one moment when the offside goal was rightly disallowed. That was the only time that they looked in trouble.
You've said all season long you're not convinced that Lampard knows his best team. It's easy here. It's always easy.
Of course it is.
But would he not be better finding himself a side and just sticking with it now for 5-6 matches? Get some results, and if he gets some momentum back, then maybe start changing. I'm just thinking about putting in Havertz tonight and Hudson-Odoi. I mean, neither made an impact. I'm not just saying it's them, but just find something settled that they can...
Agreed. I mean, what we don't know, and I agree with you 100%, I would like to see him do that, and I'd like to think that Frank had a clean bill of health. I don't know how many of his players, we never know how many players have got COVID,
well, exactly,
how many are out.
That's why I said it's easy here.
It's a little difficult to know if he could pick his best side. I mean, N'Golo Kante would be in it. He was out injured tonight, so he would have been unable to play. But I agree with you. I think the key to most successful sides is that you do find the team. Look at Brendan. He's pretty much found a team. Pretty much found a team. You could probably name
9 or 10. Yeah.
9 of that team. Then you would say, yeah, they'll probably play. All being fit and well and no need for a rest, they would play. Frank, I could pick maybe 4 or 5. Say they'll definitely play.
Keeper, Silva, Mount,
left
Chilwell,
back, right back. No, right back, Reece James maybe. Aspilicueta. But what I'm saying is you get a 5 in Kante in the middle. So you get 5. The top end, it constantly changing. So there's no real rhythm. You have to find a balance somewhere where he goes, right, I'm going to pick, that's my team, we're all fit, that's my team, we're going to play through this. I don't think they're far away, if I'm honest. I don't think they're far away. Something just needs to click with them. If it does, they might just go and do what others have done, what Man City have done, who were struggling a bit at the beginning of the season. They've suddenly gone on a run, found their mojo again, if you like. So I think Chelsea are close, but they're not close enough, is a simple fact.
I would just want some warriors in there. Giroud back in, Azpilicueta. And I'm sure he's getting all the sports science facts, and he's in the red zone, he's approaching the red zone. But just lay that aside and say, right, there's my starting 11 for a period of time, and they'll dig me out of trouble.
You can have a starting 11, but you don't need to keep the 11, Richard. You can have a couple where you might change it now and again, drop a couple in, a couple out, but not 4 every game or 5 every game, every other game. That's much more difficult, particularly when it's a team that have got so many new players that they're trying to integrate to it. Thiago Silva, probably struggling with the language, I would guess. But he's got great experience. But
not performance so much.
No, but he's playing. So that I've got others to integrate at the top end of the pitch. Every one of them at the top end of the pitch. Trying to integrate Ziyech with Timo Werner, with Kai Havertz. It's not easy.
With Abraham, with
Pulisic, with Mount. So they've got all these players, and that's what I say. Sometimes, and it might be Chelsea's case right now, sometimes you could have too many luxuries. Do you know what I mean? You could have all these luxuries in the world, and then you think, all right, I've got 12 of the most luxurious things in the world.
He hasn't played, so
I've got to pick 6 of them. How do I do that? You'd rather have 7 of the best things in the world, knowing you've got 6 to pick. I mean, that may be a case for Frank, but he's learning. He's still fairly young into this managerial stint that he's there. He's on his 2nd year, really good first year, absolutely no doubt of that. But isn't it noticeable, or is it? Is it just a coincidence that last season, when they did so well, what did they have? No real options.
No
Settled real
side.
Options.
Yeah.
Settled side. Young. Played it. It was different. I know with no pandemic. I know that. But he didn't have I was going to say the problem. He didn't have the luxurious problem of having all these star players and trying to keep them all happy.
And he will argue maybe that a couple of big decisions went against them tonight, and perhaps they did, but...
I don't think you'll have any argument. No. I don't think they did enough.
Well, maybe on the pen, offside was a brilliant call.
Yeah. I mean, this one, they get a little bit locked. It's early in the game, and you're wanting to settle, and it's an unlikely supply route coming from Wilfred Ndidi. He doesn't hit it well. You just need to look at the style with where he strikes the ball. And it's not clean, it's not the most convincing, it's kind of shuffled out his feet. And
I wonder if the corner was worked, something they had worked on.
Well, it looked like it. I have to be honest, it did look like it. They'd worked that little corner between them. But you can see here, the goalkeeper can't even see it until Johnny Evans ducks out the way. And that was it. And there wasn't a lot in it with them, but Reece James, I'm talking about young players. Come on, where's he gone? He's behind you. Too late. He's gone. Too late. And suddenly you're 2-0 down. And he's only a yard away from making the tackle. So just keep switched on. It's little things like that.
I'm just watching Vardy. He's gone looking for the pen.
Has he gone looking for the pen?
He's holding his head. He's got his back to goal. Then he must hear the celebration. Watch him leap up.
Watch him then.
Look, watch.
and then he sees the ball go in. Yeah. But again, this is a lovely couple of nice balls. That shouldn't get. He shouldn't get in there.
There we go. Goal, Jeremy.
Yeah, that wasn't worked, but they improvised that really well. It was. Reece James. I'm sure that Frank and his coaching staff, not tonight, but I'm sure somebody will take him tomorrow or when they're analysing the game. Say, come and sit with me a minute. I want to talk to you about this. What was your thought process? What were you thinking? Because that's at that level.